making any of this up. I will be the princess today actually did happen.
He did go this. He did go this. I
That was
want a narrator here who's like they were too stunned to speak. I have no.
Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Too Opinionated. This is Bhumika.
And this is Nav. And it's been like a long minute since we have seen each other. Well, not Bhumika and me. We just were on FaceTime 2 minutes ago. But us, the rest of you,
Year, I would say, not just a minute. But okay,
a minute sounds a little more
fancy smancy.
promising.
Anyways, what has been on your mind?
Men and the ways they disappoint us.
Which men?
The ones we date. Or specifically the ones we have dated before.
Okay.
I'm sure you can relate. I'm pretty sure you have some stories.
No, I nada, no stories.
Well, then we don't have material for this episode, Bhumika.
Okay. Well, I might have some stories, but full disclaimer, everything that we share today may or may not be fictional. Nothing is true, nothing can be traced back to us, okay?
And well, the disclaimer is that we both are fiction writers. We have very active imagination and we live in a city where the opportunities for disappointments are large. So, this episode is just that. May or may not be fictional stories about the men we have dated before.
My family listens to it, but okay, go ahead, let's go. So, is the first story we are listening today?
You know what? I am having such a tough time picking one. And since you are the better storyteller, why don't you take the lead?
Okay, okay. Then let me start with a story that even you have not heard before because this is very new.
Not at all heard before, or part of it haven't heard before?
You have heard the part of it, but you don't know the latest
Yeah.
updates.
Okay, fine. I like that. I get something new.
Okay, so I start talking to this guy who lives in Surrey. He works in insurance, and I think he was what, like 29, 30. So we are almost the same age. He's 5'11. He looks very decent, like you would not look at the man and be scared for your life. Like, very, very unassuming, very uncriminal of him.
Okay, so we are mentioning the criminal. Okay.
Um, well, there's no criminal. I'm just saying this person was very uncriminal, okay?
Okay.
And we start talking and just normal, hey, how are you? What do you do? How was your day? Kind of thing, right? And the way this person texts, I am impressed in like first 5 minutes because he's using grammar. He's using full sentences instead of HRU, I'm getting how are you? And he's using
It's a low
punctuation.
bar, but still a bar.
I know, like the bar is, I don't even
Quite
know where,
literally in
but
hell.
but after a lot of HRUs, I was happy to see a how are you, okay? And like just very good to talk to on text messages. And then I would say maybe 1 hour into texting, he goes and says, why don't we connect on a call? And I'm like, okay, I like that. I would rather connect on a call than, texting back and forth. So we get on a call, and the person I was texting with and the person I talked to seemed like very two different people. Because this person writes very well, texts very well, seems very educated, and then this person only speaks Punjabi, which is fine. Like language is not the problem. The problem is like two like different people, okay? It seems like I was texting to someone else and I was calling with someone else because this person, when I said, hey, how are you? He's like, Sastikal to see the so. So like the switch was so sudden. But then we talk for about 30ish minutes and then I'm like, okay, I gotta go, like we'll connect later. And then I brushed it off thinking, whatever. Second day comes by, again I get like very well written, very well crafted text from him. And then I text you, do you think this is chat GPT? Because I'm sorry if this sounds stereotypical, but this man was using punctuations and emojis at the same time. And it was just like too much, okay? Too much. And then another thing, that every time I would ask him a question, he would answer each part of my text messages and would not leave anything unanswered. Again, the bar is in wherever, but
Seventh layer of hell. The bar is in
but
seventh layer
I
of hell.
was but I was impressed, okay? I was impressed.
I
And
would have been too, quite honestly.
right? Like
Yeah.
because again, anyways.
Something about the period takes us, right?
And then on the second day again we get on a call and we talk about like, what do you do for work? Where do you come from? What's your family background? What are your plans? How long you have been in Canada? Again, the guy does not speak a word of English. And me and you, we are multilingual. So it's very natural for us that yeah, English might be our primary language that we use, but Hindi or Punjabi still tend to slip through,
We
right?
switch. We
We
switch.
switch because
We
that's
switch.
how our mind works.
And
But
also,
this guy,
that's most of the people like who's from India and living, like who's ever from other countries
anyone
living
who's
in where,
multilingual,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
This guy does not speak a word of any other language except Punjabi when he's on a call with me, and when he's texting, all he uses is English. Okay. So the second day, I'm like, can I ask you a question if you don't get offended? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, are you using ChatGPT to text me? And this guy has the audacity to tell me, what is ChatGPT? And I'm like, uh, which rock are you living under? Because I would like to share rent with you if you don't know about ChatGPT. Because, oh my God, who does not know about ChatGPT in today's world, right? And I, being me, give him a benefit of doubt and go ahead and explain to him what ChatGPT is. And
This was the new information too. You think I can't roast you publicly? That's why you didn't tell me privately.
he's like, oh, okay, I didn't know. मैनू तो पता भी नहीं सी chat GPT की हुंदा. I was like, hmm, okay. And that same night, the second day that we called, he's like, I would like to meet you. And I said, well, I have a very busy week. I can't make time this week. And he's like, but I would really like to meet you. We are having such a great conversation. And mind you, if I remove the doubt of this Punjabi Hindi thing, the conversations were good. He was
Hmm.
good at talking. He asked good questions. He answered nicely, right? So I cannot take away the fact that yes, the conversations were good. And he's like, I would really like to meet you. We are having such good conversations. We live in almost the same city. So why to talk so much over the calls? I said, okay, why don't we do something on Friday? I can make some time on Friday. He's like, sure. What would you like to do? And I said, well, we can just go for dinner. He's like, okay, why? Let's do that. And I'm like, okay, great. I asked him, where would you like to go? And he's like, I don't know much about places in Vancouver, so why don't you suggest one? So I suggested him one. And then I said, can I trust you to make a reservation? And he's like, I have never made a reservation before. And I'm like, how have you not made a reservation before? He's like, oh, I usually go to places which don't need reservations. I just walk in and it's all hunky dory. I'm like, well, there's always a first time for something. I will
Yeah.
let you make the reservation. And he's like, तुसी कर ले हो, why don't you do it? And I'm like, no, you do it. I would like you to do it. And he's like, okay, I'll figure it out. I'm like, yeah, figure it out.
Yeah, just making a call, like it's not a big deal at all.
And next day, I get a text from him saying, hey, I have been thinking about our meetup from last call, and I just want to make sure you are very comfortable when we meet. So, why don't we meet for coffee first somewhere, and then for our second date, we can go on a dinner? And I never said I'm uncomfortable. Like, I was the one who suggested dinner. So, why would I say that I am not comfortable with it? He's like, no, I was just thinking, etc., etc. And I said, well, I don't do coffee at 7 p.m. because kind of,
Who does? Who in their reasonable mind, you know?
well, people might, but I don't, right? And I just said to him, I'm like, this is a turn off. Why
Hmm.
are you so afraid of going to dinner? What are you hiding, right? And then there was so many times he went to and fro, and I actually texted him, you are literally oscillating like a pendulum between coffee and dinner. And it's okay if you're not comfortable. The world is not ending tomorrow. We don't have to meet. Like, it's all good. No, 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 I really want to meet you. I don't want to miss the chance of meeting you. Let's do coffee at 7. Let's meet at Brecca. And now, for people who live in Vancouver, you guys would know you don't ask a girl out for a first date at Brecca. You don't. Like, have some standard. I'm
No, I
sorry,
mean,
but
Breka's nice. I personally love so many things of theirs, but that's like something that you go with your best friend, like while strolling out in the city, and not on a
yeah,
date.
right? So I tell him that, hey, I date with intention and I have standards, so I'm sorry, but not gonna work out and everything. And then this guy goes and says, can I please call you for 5 minutes? And I'm like, no, I'm busy right now. And then he again goes, can I please call you? It's really important. I just need to explain to you what I was trying to say. Okay, we can call. And then we call. And then this guy, I'm like, first of all, stop bullshitting. I know you are using ChatGPT because you used M dash, okay? I know you are using ChatGPT.
Not the M dash. Not the M dash.
How stupid do you think I am to fall for this? And then he's like, well, I'm not. I'm like, okay, if you're not, talk to me in English. ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਾਤੋਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਏ ਹੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਈ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਪਏ ਹੋ I'm like bro, it's not about an interview, it's not about the language, it's about the fact that you're building this extravagant lie just to hide the fact that you're not comfortable
Also,
talking in
yes,
English.
also he's lying to you from the very first day. He is lying to you. Like it's about the lying because
Yes,
I know
it's not about
personally people. My mother can't speak English. It's not like I'm not gonna acknowledge her.
right? So I'm like, let's just stop. And he's like, no, I was just saying that we can get coffee first because if you have any questions, I can answer them for you. I'm like, "Well, it's not a job interview, we are just meeting to get to know each other. So how is asking questions on a dinner different than asking questions on a coffee? And at this point, it's not even about coffee or dinner, okay? It is just about the fact, like, what is going on? I would like to save our first dinner for a very romantic night. So if you have any normal questions, you can ask me those on a coffee. And then 10 days later, I don't want you to ask me same questions. I'm like, you think we can get to know each other in 10 days? I was so confused.
I'm not following. What
I'm
was
not
he
following
thinking?
either. I'm not following
Like
either. But
I okay, I get the switch, and it's switch mostly about if you're dating 10 other people, you cannot afford dinner dates for 10 people. That's it. That's one thing, you're not dating with intention. But I'm not understanding what's his thinking of giving you an explanation. Did he not even think through?
I have no idea, okay? And this guy goes and begs me that please meet me. Like, I am sorry, I came across as wrong, my intention was not wrong. Then I'm like, okay, we can meet tomorrow, but I am not meeting at Brecca for sure. And then I suggest him a different cafe, we can meet here.
No, and giving them benefit of the doubts. I kid you not, true. Why?
Well, I told you you don't have all the updates.
What do you okay? Sometimes, and I was gonna save this for the last of the episode, but sometimes denominator really is us.
Let me continue the story, okay? Okay, we can meet. And he's like, 7 o'clock is okay. I'm like, sure, 7 o'clock is okay. And then he texts me, good night, Bhumika, kal milte hain. Like, let's meet tomorrow. I'm like, great. And then he texts me in the morning that, hey, see you at 7. And then I get a text from him, I'm running late. Can we do 7:30? Sure, we can do
Coffee at
7:30.
7 Okay.
And you know what I did? I grabbed a peppermint tea pouch with me. Then I'm just gonna go and get hot water and have my peppermint tea because there is no way I'm having chai or coffee at 7:30 p.m. Because I was ready on time. I just walked over. The cafe was near my house, and exactly on dot at 7:30 I was at the cafe because I respect time and people. And exactly at 7:30 I get a text from him. Hi Bhumika, I'm sorry I'm running late. I'll be there in 30 minutes.
More 30 more minutes?
30 minutes, so like 8, okay? And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to wait for another 30 minutes, so please don't come. And he's like, but I am almost in Richmond. I'm almost coming. I'm like, please don't. And then I just
Okay, from who drives there? Richmond and Vancouver to your house is not 30 minutes.
I don't know what this guy was trying to do because initially I thought, is he ghosting me? Okay, that's what I thought. That did I just get stood up? And then I was like, there is really a first time for everything. Because this would be me getting stood up for the first time, okay? But the way the conversation like went from I don't know what this person was doing, okay? And I said, please don't. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm almost close to the place. And I'm like, you asked me to move the time by 30 minutes and I agreed. But now you want me to wait for another 30 minutes? That is not fair. I have things to do. So please don't come now. He's like, well, you said you live 2 minutes from the cafe, and I'm driving from Cloverdale, so I got stuck in the traffic. Living 2 minutes away from the cafe does not mean my time is not valuable. So I
Hmm.
am back home already. Please do not come. And then I stopped texting him, and then he keeps texting me. He's like, but I was almost there. I get it. Traffic happens, roads are crowded. I get all of that, but if you were running late you would have known that at 7, 7:15 or whatever it is, right? So you should have texted me on time so that maybe I made better use of my time, did something
Hmm.
else. But you texting me exactly at the point we are supposed to meet, which is 7:30, saying I'm 30 minutes late is not acceptable, my friend. No, I have things to do.
And also 7:30 is already 30 minutes late.
Yeah. And then he goes and says, well, you're also wasting time texting with me, you could have just met me.
The audacity these men have. I kid you not. I kid you not. They refuse to understand.
And he says, well, I already said I'm sorry. Well, first of all, you didn't. Second of all, no thank you.
Okay, sorry is also a statement that doesn't come with the promise that other person's gonna accept.
So yeah, that's the latest update.
And for the people, another context from my side, I was calling it as chat GTP from the very first text. I was like,
I
this
was
is giving
too.
chat GTP to me. And but okay, we have to, I know you were too, but I'm saying my story, okay? So now I remember when you were like, I put it in the AI detector, it's not coming off as AI, and I was screenshotting exact points where I think it is AI.
But this also means the software that I was using to detect AI is not 100%,
I
okay?
am better at detecting
It
AI than
slips through the
AI. As someone who hates AI, I have made a point of learning how to identify everything AI.
Okay, anyways, I did start with a story. It's your turn now.
Ah, okay. The thing is, okay, two disclaimers before I start my stories. First is obviously, um, I'm not as good as a storyteller. And second, I don't think so. More than two, three friends of mine ever know these stories. So what do I share and what do I not share?
Why don't we
Um,
start with the twin?
the twin. I didn't knew you were gonna name him the twin. I was like,
The twin. Let's
who's
start
the
with
twin?
the twin.
Oh my god, I was gonna name him Mr. Fiance.
Let's start with the story, okay? Start.
I'm just gonna go with Mr. Fiance. It is, I think, 2017 or 2018. I'm kind of new in Canada, but not like super new. I'm still in college. I have just broken up. I had like a bad breakup, and I'm just in my face. You know what? I don't give a shit about anyone. And I'm swiping left and right. So I see this guy who's very much my type, and that I think in that point of my life, my type was just
Anyone who's tall.
anyone who's tall. That's I was well in my defense. I was like 2021. We've all been there. So anyway, so I match with this guy. We are talking, and then we also live very close by. He was also a student. Both lived near SkyTrain, and we decided to meet. And we were gonna go for a date in Vancouver. So we went on first date. I think we went on 2 or 3 dates. You weren't here, right?
I was here for the drama. I was
Yeah, you
not
were here
here
for
for
yeah,
feelings of
she
it.
wasn't here. That's why I can't double check the details. So we go on couple of dates. I like this guy, I haven't really seen any red flags. He seems very mature, very educated, intelligent. That's, another one of my types. Anyway, so it's going good. And one day randomly how we have this thing that if we like a guy, we're gonna stalk him. So I go stalk him. I'm an exceptional stalker. And while stalking, I found this ID of this girl which just looked suspicious. I don't know how to describe what I felt, okay? It just felt suspicious. That's it. That's all. Um, and then something else happened over a few days, and again that girl was popping up everywhere on his timeline, feed, phone, everything, right? So that kind of was registered in my head at that point, like there's something, and obviously we are not close enough. And also I don't think so I gave a fuck a lot at that point in time to just inquire about it, but I gave a fuck if he was dating someone else, and you know what, I was the other person, because no one wants that, no woman wants that, right? So then one day he just came to me, and then we were just talking, and he was like, oh, you know what, I have this girl who's I was dating, we broke up, but then she wouldn't leave me alone. And being 20-year-old innocent, I believed him. I completely believed that there is a woman, there is a woman out there who is so in love with him that he would she would not leave him alone. I believed it, okay. And me, in my own all wisdom of 20 some year old, I was like, why don't you try talking it out with her?
And you just made fun of me.
I was 20 some years old, okay. And this was the first person I ever dated. So things goes on, and then he posts a picture on Instagram, and that girl is so very quick with her like, and so very quick with her commenting, and I was like, you know what, this is something shady. um, and then I go stalk her.
Great.
And in stalking her, I got to know that he was indeed very much in his life. They were actually living together, they were getting engaged soon, you know. Yeah. So this person who was living with his girlfriend was ready to get engaged to, and mind you, this girl, she was so damn fucking pretty. Half of the reason I was talking her because she was so damn pretty. You know, like she was so damn pretty. I was like, you gonna cheat on her, like her, are you freaking kidding me? And you know what, at that point in my life, the breakup was already bad enough, and I was in my brain, I was like, he doesn't deserve her. And I'm a girl's girl. I made a point of reaching out to her and letting her know all our screenshots and be like, I didn't knew. If I would have known, I would have stayed like 10 foot apart, but this is what it is. And then all the screenshot, all the conversations and every all of the details were sent to the lucky or unlucky lady. What should that be? Because obviously, you know, the families were involved. It was kind of bad, but she was angry at me first, obviously, because no one likes the bearer of the bad news. But then in the end, she was also like, you know what, I would have much rather known, because to spend a few years in a relationship, that's another thing, but then to spend entire life and then figure out that your partner was cheating on you would have been much 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 worse. So yeah, I think the update last I of any of them were they broke up and they're not living together anymore. But then after a couple of years, this person decides that it might just be a good thing to text me and see how am I doing. Blocked that shit real fast.
But you forgot a very important part of the story.
Which part?
The one that traumatized you.
Him showing up at my work?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Okay, yeah, that happened. The day I told that girl I was at work, and this guy, I knew where I worked and where I lived. Now I would never. But then I was 20-year old, okay. So he knew where I worked. I was at work when this whole thing was going down. Uh, he showed up at my work. He literally showed up at my work and be like, you know, why would you tell her I was handling it? And I'm like, handling it how? By dating other people, you were handling it. Not only you are lying to me, you're lying to the other person. But this whole went down in front of my boss, and my boss was nice enough to not interfere and not fire me after. Because you know, but yeah, he showed up and he was like a crazy person. He looked like a crazy person, just like, you know, just coming and drifting basically his car in the parking lot, and then he just walking in and be like, can I talk to you? And I'm like, sure.
I don't understand what would coming to your work and just creating a scene do for him, because
I
it's not
think
like you
just
go back and say, "Look, this is all not true," right?
yeah, okay. To me, she was portrayed as a crazy person who wouldn't leave him, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure to her, he was trying to portray me as some like a crazy lady who wouldn't leave him, right? And also, I don't give a shit what other people think about me, but I'm just like the audacity to cheat two women at the same time. One is your fiance and one other person. Like, I am naive person in all this. I had no idea he was engaged. I genuinely thought he was just like a nice person of the street, literally. But
Um,
yeah, traumatizing shit. I deleted apps real quick after that one.
they are not lonely enough, They are not
I know,
lonely enough.
right? Need to be more lonelier. Kidding
I
not.
was just,
But yeah, that's why I call him Mr. Fiance because he was someone's fiance.
yeah. I was just meeting with a friend of mine day before yesterday, and I was telling her that, oh, I might have a date on Friday. And she's like, "Are you excited?" I'm like, "Not really. He's a man. He's bound to mess up."
Yeah. I know, right? Like how I wish they wouldn't disappoint us, but they find some way. But anyway,
And
it's
she
okay.
said, "I want to print a t-shirt with this quote. He's a man. He's bound to mess up." But under all of this joke and mimicry, it's genuinely very sad, because how messed up it is that for me to not be excited for a potential date because I'm already prepared for the person to mess up. And I don't think this is me manifesting him messing up, because I might be great at it, but I'm not this great at it. If my manifestation skills would be this great, I would first of all manifest shit ton of money, okay, so that I can stop working and just be creative. Anyways, why is it so difficult, and why, in all honesty, and a very big vulnerable moment, I used to think I am the one who is struggling because I'm bigger bodied, I'm not everyone's type. But I look around, and the prettiest of prettiest women out there are struggling too. So I'm like, I am not the problem, and not is almost every other woman out there. Like, why is it so difficult? And then they would go and just be like those heartbroken people all around who don't find a woman. Well,
I mean, it's just sad. This it's just sad. It's sad that we have learned. Like okay, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm a very whimsical person. I'm like I believe in everything person. I have learned to believe that there would be some disappointment. I think that's like years of therapy bills, okay? And none of
I
these gonna be paying for that.
exactly, and I am a very optimistic person in
Hmm.
every other genre of my life. I'm a very optimistic person, but when it comes to men, I can't help and be like, mess up is coming today,
Yeah,
in 6 months, in few years.
yeah, and like I had to say this, like I don't believe it's all men are same, but I'm waiting for someone to prove that they honestly aren't.
Exactly, like exactly.
Anyway, moving on. What do you have for us next? Oh, I okay, wait. I gotta tell you, what's the context behind Mr. Twin? Like why did you say twin?
Oh yeah,
Because
because
there's
he.
context for it. Okay, so once I was again at the ripe age of 18 when I was like very new and it's my first time visiting PNE. There was tarot card reader and I gave like $10 of minimum wage I earned to her to read me tarots, and she told me one thing. She's like, "You're gonna marry someone who has a twin." Okay, so that's where I was like, You know what? If you're twin, maybe I don't know."
Yeah,
So he was Mr. Fiance was also a twin.
that just me seeing my husband in every Sardar guy out there. Okay.
Oh my god. But yeah, very fact of the lore. Okay, the next one.
I was going to give you an option.
Okay, give me options.
Would you rather a homeless man or a murderer?
Neither. Is the option neither.
Unfortunately, no. How Both,
Okay.
both.
You know what? I just
Please,
feel like it.
God.
Why don't give me the scariest one first so I can have the palette changer after.
I need to make sure my family doesn't listen to this episode.
Hey, we are two fictional writers, okay? This all is probably fiction.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. I don't claim any of it.
Not my stories. Some stories I read off internet. Reddit.
Uh,
Reddit is where we got inspiration for this episode.
let's do the homeless man, okay?
Okay.
So, this was December during the holiday season. I was.
Wait, you know what that reminded me of? Those movies where the girl moved to a small town and fall in love with the homeless person. And they're like, oh, they live happily ever after. Hallmark movies, but then the homeless person turns out to be a secret billionaire. I'm sorry, I cannot be serious.
This person apparently worked at one of the biggest banks in Canada as a financial analyst.
Banks. Okay.
Banks. That's what I
Okay.
was told.
That's a nice profile.
Yes, and he was 6'1", according to the data I have
What?
seen. I was like, okay, I can wear my heels. Um,
This
and
was a
then
setup. This was a setup, right? Someone
this
set you
was
up?
a setup. This was a setup. And the pictures that were shared with me seemed in his early 30s, 32, 33. So decent profile, has a good
Decent
job.
profile.
We start talking. And then the conversations are amazing. We are talking about history, we are talking about psychology, we are talking about intellectual compatibility, we are talking about science, we are talking about every possible thing that's out there. And there is not a minute of conversation where I feel that I am bored with this person. We talk for about 2 3 days, and then he asks me out. Do you want to get dinner? I'm like, sure, we can get dinner. And then he makes a reservation at a restaurant in downtown Vancouver. Great, I'll see you there. And then, because it was the holiday season, I don't know what I was thinking, but I just picked something up for him, like a small token, because it's so customary here. You exchange gifts during the holiday season. So I just did not feel nice walking empty handed to a date during the prime season of the year. So I am dressed to the nines. I can say it for myself that I was looking hot as hell. I was wearing a red dress. I looked amazing. Take my word on it, okay? And I reach there and I'm like texting, hey, I am here. And I'm on my phone like this, like literally looking down. And then I have someone standing in front of me, and he goes like, Bhumika? I'm like, hi. Hey, I'm your date. Let's call him Preet. So Mr. Preet is standing in front of me and he's like, hey, I am Preet. And I'm like, you don't look like Preet. You are.
Hmm.
Uh, these are not the pictures I saw, but okay. You're definitely not 6'1" because you are coming below my shoulder. I'm not even wearing heels today. And I am standing there for 2 seconds, shocked that did I just get catfished? And me being me,
The patron saint of giving second chances.
I'm standing there and he's like, nice to meet you. And I'm like, likewise.
There's a question mark behind it, and then the exclamation point.
And let me just describe you how Mr. Preet decided to dress up for a date at a very, very, very fine dine restaurant in Vancouver where you would not even get a reservation on a very busy day. He was wearing pants that could fit two of him, and he was wearing a jacket that would fit again two of him. There was a very weird beanie that he was wearing. He had a very big backpack. I was like, did he shove a body in it or something? Like it was a very big backpack, and he has a takeout coffee thingy in his hand, which is empty. And I am standing there looking at what is happening with me. Is this a prank? I genuinely think, is this a prank? And then he's like, do you know where's the dustbin? And I'm, no, I don't. I don't. I would know where's the dustbin, like maybe in the restaurant. And then he very rushingly opens his bag and hands me something. He's like, here, I got these for you. Flowers were difficult to find. And I'm like, didn't ask for any of it, but okay. So at this point, I'm having my clutch in my hand. I have a gift that I got for him in my hand, and I have a gift that he gave me in my hand. And this is December in Vancouver. It's chilling outside, okay? And both of my hands are outside my coat with the stuff that I'm holding. And then I'm like, let's go inside. We go inside, and restaurant people say, sorry, we're running behind 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, no worries. And he's like, do you want to stand outside? Because it was like jam packed inside. And then we walk outside, and he's like, do you know where's the dustbin? And I'm like, I don't work for City of Vancouver, so I don't know where's the dustbin. He's like, let's walk. Dump this, like the coffee mug he was holding. Someone is definitely pranking with me right now. This can't be true, okay? And then we start walking, and then we there's a dumpster, and I'm like, hey, there's a dumpster. See, you can dump your coffee mug in there. And he's like, no, let's keep walking. I want to show you something. Where is the strange man taking me? And while he's walking, because his pants can fit him twice, he keeps he keeps doing this. Okay, he's pulling his pants up again and again, and I'm like, great, amazing. And then he takes me to a dustbin. We stand there, and then he tells me, this is what I wanted to show you. This is my favorite dustbin. Who has a favorite dustbin? Who has a favorite dustbin? And then I'm like, you know what? Let's go back. A table might be ready. And then we walk back. And again, the pant is barely hanging. Like it can, there could be a wardrobe malfunction any time, okay? Like any second. But we reach the restaurant, and they're like, we are sorry, but we are still running a bit late. Do you want to come and sit inside? I'm like, great. So we sit. There are two stools, the waiting stools. So this guy goes and sits on one, puts his bag on second, and I'm just standing there. And I'm like, okay, let's see how long it takes for him to notice that I am standing and he's sitting and we are on a date. Newsflash, he never noticed.
E- Just for the future, Bhumika and other people, walking out is an option.
I know. I'm already so irritated. And then I asked the waitress, hey, where can I hang my coat? And she's like, oh, it's going to be near your table. I'm like, great. Thankfully, our table is ready. And I take off my coat to put on the coat hanger. And he's like, nice dress. And I said, I wish I could say the same.
Did you really say that? I love it. I love it.
I don't know if he ignored or he was just so dumb to not get it, but he did not give me any reaction. Anyways, we sit down, the menu comes, and he's like to the waitress, we'll order this. And I'm like, oh, great. No opinion needed. Amazing. And he's like, I picked the appetizers, you can pick the mains. I said, why don't we get through the appetizers first and then we'll see if we even need mains? And because I was so done with this, and again, I understand walking out is a option, but for some reason it didn't come to my head. Like I don't know what was wrong with me, okay?
You
And
were
I was
traumatized. You were
probably
too stunned. You were too stunned to speak.
probably because I just got showed a favorite dustbin. And I am sitting there, and because I am not interested anymore, the conversations are dead. So I realized that I was the one who was keeping the conversations going. I am the entertainment. So the moment I decided to shut up, there was nothing. No conversations. Nada. Boring. Like literally nothing. And then the food comes. I pick up piece of paneer tikka. And then I'm sitting here eating with a fork and knife because, again, we are in a fine dine. And I'm not trying to sound like a snob, but there are some basic etiquettes and manners. And this guy digs into the food like he has not eaten from days. He's starving, okay? And he's just hogging the food. The fork and knife have not been even touched. And I lost my appetite. My piece of paneer sat like that on my plate for entire night, okay? And then, because I was not hungry, he's like, "Are you not eating?" I'm like, "No, I had a late lunch and I'm not really hungry." He picks the plate and he eats everything. So we ordered two appetizers. I picked a piece of paneer from it, which sat on my plate for entire night, and he finishes everything. Again, eating like a person who has not eaten for days. So my speculation about homelessness was increasing with every second, because first the shabby clothes, secondly he reeked of weed. I could like literally smell weed. He showed me his favorite dustbin. He did not look like his pictures at all, and he ate food like he has not eaten from days. I am done at this point. I'm like, okay, let's wrap up. He's like, what about mains? I'm like, you know what? I'm not really hungry. And during this time, the guy is trying to plan a second date with me. And I'm like, apparently, suddenly my calendar is busy for months altogether. Like, I have no spot, zero spot in my calendar. Then the bill comes, it sits there. Now, I am just sitting there thinking, is he going to pick up? Because he's the one who ate the food and he's the one who asked me out. Like, my simple rule is the one who asks out pays for it. I ask out, I pay, you ask me out, you pay. Simple. Like, no drama. And the bill is just sitting there for 2 minutes. And we barely ordered two appetizers. How much could it have costed, right? And then the waitress is standing there and the guy doesn't pick up the bill. So I pick it up, I pay, and he's like, "Oh, you did not ask, you did not discuss who is going to pay the bill." I was like, you wanted to discuss who pays $50 for two appetizers when you asked me out on a date? It's okay, I took care of it." And the guy said,
I I don't understand why does that need to be a conversation?
"Yeah, exactly." And then I said, "It's okay, I took care of it." And then the guy says, "Oh, great, I'll be the princess today." And I promise, I promise, I am not making any of this up. I mean, it's a fictional story. But in my fictional story, everything is fucking true, okay? I am not making any of this up. I will be the princess today actually did happen.
He did go this. He did go this. I
That was
want a narrator here who's like they were too stunned to speak. I have no words. Genuinely have no words. Genuinely zero words.
let's move on.
Oh my god. Okay, I think it's only due that we after talking about Mr. Homeless, we talk about Mr. Rich.
Oh
Just to
yeah,
change the palette.
take the stage is all yours.
Just to change the palette. Let's bring in Mr. Rich. Just to show you that a man with no money and man with a lot of money could also be the same. To really show that this episode is based on no biases. We had no biases. Okay. Imagine this. This is circa 21, 22, 23, somewhere around that. So this guy I know of DMs me on Instagram, and he is basically asking to hang out. It's not a date. He's not asking me on a date because we have zero interactions before. Like I know of him, he know of me, but we had bare minimum interactions. Okay, um, so I'm not assuming he's asking me out on a date, but it's also let's start talking so I can ask you on a date. Okay, that's how best I can put. And obviously, I wasn't very inclined, so I'm like, you know what, my calendar is all booked and busy. I genuinely have no time. And he was like, you must have some like 30 minutes in your schedule, which is free enough. I don't care where it is. I don't care what you're doing. I will be there. Just give me 30 minutes. And he was very insistent. I was like, okay, fine. And then I went go to his profile on Instagram, like, oh, you know what, he's kind of cute. Uh, so the only time that week I had was 5 in the morning. I used to go watch sunrises. Genuinely, that was the only time I had that it would be like 5 in the morning. I'm going to watch sunrise. This is where I'm gonna be. So if you have time, just show up there. I don't think so. He was gonna show up for two things. One, it was a very very far away place. Like I used to drive for like 45 minutes just to get there to watch sunrise. And second, it's 5. I told him to be there at 5, so he would have to wake up at like what 4, get his shit together, and then he was like, I'll get coffee on the way, which I was like, at 5, I don't think so that's gonna happen. But then he was like, oh, you know, just in case, tell me what's your Starbucks order. Okay, I'll pick it up. I was like, okay, fine. Anyway, it's 5, and I'm sitting there. He gets there around 5, 5, 10, whatever. In 10 minutes in, I'm sitting there. He gets there, and it's just two of us in that park. There's no one there, and he has my coffee perfectly like I like it. Okay, so it's kind of very nice. We're just sitting and talking. Sun's rising. It's just two of us, and he's not any criminal of sort. It's fine. Like he's not shady, and I don't feel that I'm not in a safe place. And then we walk around the park once or twice, and it's very nice. It's like now it's 6:30. I didn't think he was gonna show up. That used to be my slow morning routine. So that was our first date ish, I guess. Two days after, he's like, "Oh, let's go out to eat. This is a new place opened up. I wanted to try it. Do you want to tag along?" So it's also not like it's just that let's hang out. It's not a date. It's never gonna be a date. Disclaimer. So we hang out again. 2 days in, we hang out again. So it becomes like a weekly activity for us that we are at least having dinner, lunch, whatever, twice or thrice a week.
I
Um,
remember.
so we are hanging out. I'm meeting his friend. Oh, I met his friends in a very now I that was a coincidence then. Now I think it was very planned. So what happens is we are having dinner at this nice restaurant in White Rock, and it happens to be that by the time we are finishing our dinner, his friend walks in, his best friend and business partner, his girlfriend, and one of another friend of theirs. So three of them, they walk in, and obviously I know of these people too. So we just sit with them and we have like a couple of drinks before we are on our way to get ice cream. So everything's perfect, everything's fine. I when i say that I in those few months, and this goes on for months, I think 3 4 months,
Oh,
we were dating, not dating, okay, because he haven't asked me out officially, and I'm not gonna be the one to be like, oh, we gotta define this, because genuinely no motivation for me to define that. But I like this guy. We are hanging out pretty much every day basically. In that period of time, I remember, Bhumika, you weren't here when I got sick. I don't know, where were you?
India.
Yeah, you were in India, right?
Yeah.
Bhumika was gone for like a little while of it. I was sick and I had COVID, and this guy came home, gets me medicines. He's like serving me soup and all those things. Like very okay. This is very domestic. Now it was going into very domestic category, but it's very PG-13 so far, and I'm gonna keep it that way unless you officially ask me out. I had this notion in my mind that if a person is spending his time, energy, and money on you, I think that's very safe to say that it's kind of a I think good thing, I guess, because we at this point, I know listen, at this point we have been hanging out like 4 to 5 days a week, and all of those days, some of it, like 50% of it is just both of us, 50% of it is with his friend or my friend. He has gone to dinners plus movies. I don't think so I think I paid for coffee and chocolate once, I think, in the entire duration, and we are going to these nice places. Like he's always picking up the bill. Even if I have an errand to run, he'd be like, okay, fine, I'll go with you. If he's having an errand to run, I'm going with him. So it's like very safest relationship possible. I think that was kind of happening because there was no red flags. He wasn't looking at other people. He was giving his full attention to me. I was getting good morning, good night texts. We were hanging out. I knew where he was. He loved to drove, and we never went anywhere in my car. Like we always went in his car, which is fine. Like I didn't like to drive that much too. Like I'm very passenger princesses. Okay, we are doing basically anything I want to do. He's always picking up the bill. He's never even letting me like do for like a even fake reach out in the purse. The only question on everyone's mind is why aren't you making it official? That's the only question. Few more details. He's a Sardar, so my mother would have loved it. And for myself also, I'm at the point that I'm like, okay, fine, if he did really ask, I was gonna say yes. And we discussed this. Everyone was like, okay, fine, what's happening? And so he has a trip coming, okay? So he's going to Toronto to pick up his Rolex. Oh, Rolex is real. That wasn't fake. That was very real.
Nice jump from dustbin to a Rolex.
Right? That's what I was saying. Let's give them Mr. Homeless and then Mr. Rich. That's why I call him Mr. Rich. But I have to say this, him being rich was not the part I liked about him. I liked how he was like very, very like focused on each and everything I liked. I liked being the center of attention. So he has a trip that he's gone for like 3 days, literally to go meet his friends, and then he's gonna pick up his Rolex and be back very soon, okay? And during this trip he has, he calls me. I'm out with my friends. I'm having dinner with my friends. He calls me, and he's like, "Oh, I had a friend who wants to talk to you." He makes me talk to his childhood friend who's in Toronto. Okay, so at this point, everyone in his circle knows who he is. Everyone in my circle knows who like he is. Everyone's just like teasing and taunting us, both of us. Right, when we are hanging out, and for me it's like, okay, you know what, this might actually be a thing. And then that night I'm back home, and I think it's 12 or 1, and he texts me and he's like, you know what, I have wanting to say this for a long time, some sort. I forgot the text, but the crux of the sentence was basically that I like you, and I would want it to be official. And again, we are like, oh, you know what? We have been waiting for this to happen. So I was like, okay, I do too like you, but let's have this conversation in the morning. And when you're back, because he was very drunk. It was 1 for me, so it's probably like 3 or 4 for him at that point, right? So I was like, let's have this conversation when you're here. And he was gonna be here in a day. I have zero reason to doubt him because this man has been about me since we met, so it's fine. And also, this is not the person I know of randomly. I know this person, I have met this person before. Like, this is a person I know in real life. I know his friends, right? Take your wildest guess what happened next.
Well,
And
I
if
know
it,
what happened.
I
Let
know, and I'm
me
like, that's
understand.
what I'm saying. And if your guess was that he ghosted me, that would be right. He ghosted me. He completely ghosted me. That's it. He didn't reply to my text. There was no calls. There was nothing. He ghosted me. That's it. He said, I like you, and then he ghosted me.
As your well wisher, I would like to tell you a man can spend money on you, a man can spend time with you, a man can introduce you to his friends and meet your friends. A man might even talk to your parents.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's still.
It might be almost wedding time. You might be looking at a ring,
Yeah.
and a man goes to you.
Yeah.
So, as your well wisher, do not trust a man just
Yeah.
based upon the fact that he's spending time and
And
money with.
also, like, what are you supposed to judge at? Because, quite honestly, as someone who wasn't even looking for anything, you reached out to me. Then you go on and spend months and months just to woo me, which you are successful in, and then you ghost me. Like, what was that about? What was that about? I genuinely, to this day, I have no idea what was that about.
I have two guesses. Either he was a commitment phobic and he got like cold feet, right? Which
Hmm.
again, yeah, like not a
Hmm.
valid excuse. Second, he you were just a mission that he accomplished and then he was done.
Yeah, could very well just be an ego boost, Could very well be an ego boost, which I was like, okay, like I was back to my regular programming of I'm not looking for anything. That's fine. Oh man,
Uh,
that was an insane one. But that one did hurt. I have to acknowledge because that was like ego hurt for me too. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So, but Anyhow, we are over that. Is it us or is it just like genuinely, well, that's the pool out there?
I think it's a probability. The more you try, the more weird people you find.
Remember the time when I used to tell you, "Chad fuck karwa liye." I
A guy can do some sort of chadfuk on you, but still make your life miserable. I'm telling you, don't say shit. I have answer for everything. I have experience for everything. Of course,
which
in my
one is
fiction,
Chad fuck wala guy?
you can't forget. I can't explain the situation. It's too much.
I don't remember shit.
Yeah, that's true. You don't remember things. That's half of the problem of your life, isn't it?
I think it's a blessing in disguise because then I forget everything and I'm like, well, it doesn't.
Well, the very wonderful man who managed to make fool of most people in my life, including you.
I was never a part of it. I never liked him from beginning. He was no, 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 no. I made you. You cannot involve me in it. Tell me, tell me.
I'll tell you just the situation, okay? So we are sitting, okay? We are just sitting and talking. And this person suddenly gets up. And he's like, sit there, don't move. Okay. And he brings salt. He
Hmm.
goes like 7 times. I'm like, oh, what is happening? He's like, you looked so cute. I had to take off your nazar, no? And I'm sitting there with my rose-colored glasses, going like, oh my god, I found my husband.
I mean, like that was cute. I'll have to agree. That's cute. That's cute.
So
Oh, a man who gets your culture is kind of cute.
anyway, so all this to say that Chadfuk is not enough to protect from all the men out
Do you have any other fictional story you would like to share?
there.
What about the murderer? You did mention him. You cannot not finish that story. You did mention him.
Well, there can always be a part two. Let's wait for him to get arrested. Let's wait for the court decision so that I can feel safe sharing the story on the internet.
You know what? I agree. I agree. If there is ever a part two and he's arrested,
I'll open up with the story.
yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Um,
And then the guy who showed up at our house.
so there was again a guy. He actually met me through work. So, like, I again knew of him. This was not someone off the internet. And then he's like, let's, like, hang out and everything. I'm like, I'm too busy. I have my final exams and I have my work placement. I have life. I genuinely don't have time for any of this. He's like, just like the sunrise guy, Mr. Rich. He's like, oh, why don't you just let me pick you up from work? We'll go get ice cream and then I can drop you off. And the 24-year naive me was like, sure, what's the worst that can happen here? And we get ice cream, and then the things that he said and the conversations that we had just didn't click off. So after he dropped me off and everything, he texted me, let's do it again. So I told him that, hey, I don't think we'll hit it off. So let's just not waste time. And I already told you, like, I'm really busy. Apparently, he liked me way too much to give up his words. And he's like, no, I can't. I just stopped, like, indulging him. I stopped talking to him. And then I remember we both were cooking and it was night around 7:30. And
It was winter, so it was like eerie because it was really dark outside.
yeah, it was really dark, it was really
It was
cold and
really dark.
foggy. And our landlords were not home.
Oh, they
And
weren't home?
we weren't home. It was,
Oh, that's why it was extra scary.
it was
Okay, yeah.
and I start getting calls back to back, and I finally answer. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, and he's like, I'm standing outside. Come outside, or I'll come in. I'm like, what? And I said, I told you I'm not interested. What are you doing here? He's like, just come talk to me once. Just meet me once. Okay, I definitely can't let this guy come in because what if we can't get him out, right? He's a tall guy. He's like what, 6'4", 6'5", big muscles built, like everything, and like two of us combined maybe wouldn't be able to get him
And
out.
also, we'd be just home alone, right? We were just
Yeah.
home alone. Yeah.
So I go out and I'm like, yes, what do you want? And he's like, you. And I'm like, not happening.
In some context, that might be hot, but not in this. It sound like a kidnapper.
And I'm like, no. And he's like, but please talk to me. I'm like, go home. Like, and don't do this again. Like, don't do this again. And I don't know how I managed to send him home. And then 3 or 4 days later, again, this guy starts calling again. And at this point, I have blocked him. So this is like a random
Hmm.
number. And then he's like, I'm outside. Come outside. And I'm like, bro, what in the universe you don't get that I am not interested? Like this is harassment at this point. This is stalking. Yeah, I made the stupid mistake of letting you drop me one day to my home. That does not mean that you can keep showing up. So to anyone listening, to our younger sisters listening,
They
never.
don't need to know where you live. Period.
We made the
Or where
mistake.
you work.
We made the mistake. You don't, please, okay? I think all of this to say, date safely. Or just don't. You're not
You're not
missing
missing
out
out
on
on. You're not
anything.
missing out on anything. Yes, you are definitely not missing out on anything. Trust me.
As I said in the beginning, he's a man. He's bound to disappoint you.
Yeah. Even the one who very specifically says, not on my account, will disappoint you
We hope you enjoyed them. We hope
on
you,
our expense.
yeah,
Had a good laugh on our expense.
and trauma and embarrassment on our end. Please don't make the mistakes that we did. Live your life safely. If you want to be alive, just don't date. There are criminals out there.
It's not even funny and I'm laughing. Well, on that note, see you
Until
next
next
time.
time. And we hope you enjoyed this. Bye.
Bye.